Right. So I want to show you bobknakal.com, and I want to show you how you can replicate the same model for your business and dominate online and offline. It's an online offline strategy. So let's take a look at Bob's site. I was so excited about building this website because Bob saved everything that he ever created, every press clipping, newsletter, market report for 40 years. So Bob had this all stored away up in his vacation home, and it was in boxes. And Bob and I started talking about this about 12 months ago. And what I showed Bob is that we can take all that content and we can turn it into an online strategy. Now, the ultimate goal, which is really my business that I've implemented for the last 20 years, I've taken this model and I've applied it online. So a little background from me, I started with CBRE when I was out of college, and I was in their Jersey office as a new office. I wanted to be in the investment sales business. I heard about Bob Knakal. I called Bob. I heard about his success, and he had been in the business for about 4 years at that point. And so I used to go in on Saturdays and I would help Bob out with his map making and his newsletters and everything like that. And I wanted to learn direct from Bob how he implemented his business model. And when he started his firm many years ago, I jumped at the opportunity to go work with Bob. So I know the model from day one. I was his first sales guy. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to show you the one-page case study model. Now you've heard about it. Now you get an opportunity to really, really see it and really understand that this is amazing because nothing like this has ever been created before. This is the ultimate model. It's based on identifying your market. Let's say it's 1,000 owners. The idea is to stay in front of those owners over and over and over. That's the key. That's number one. You've got to identify your market. This is what you're looking at here is the master at grading and identifying his market. So Bob works in New York City, but he primarily focuses on development sites today. Now he does a lot of multifamily. He also sells office building, but his real bread and butter today that he's going after is the development site market. And that leads to a lot of other opportunities as well. But let me show you, I'm just going to show you, here's the concept. It's all based on showing your expertise and showing your proof. Because we know that the key, what we're trying to do is we're trying to overcome consumer doubt. And the way we do that is by what we call proof stacking. We need to create the proof over and over and over and over. That's proof stacking. Can't stop. Listen to Bob. He'll tell you, you never stop. Anyway, I'll show you a couple of really neat things. You can look at this website. You can, and if you want to know how this model works, and you want to know how to use the internet the right way to leverage your time and your effort to dominate your market, I'll show you exactly what worked because I've done it myself. My first experience was 20 years ago. I bought a small 12-unit building in Stamford, Connecticut. I did a rehab on that property, and I utilized a website and Google search and the media to sell that property. And it was at a time when the local brokers wouldn't even take the listings for 12 units. They were worth about $3 million. They said, beautiful building, nice job, but you're never going to sell them. I proved them wrong. I used the internet, and that's when I found the power of search engine optimization. Much different than social media. Social media, there's a lot of, like being on a highway with, a lot of people coming and going and cutting each other off and, hard to focus on any one thing. Google, on the other hand, is very, very specific, very high intent. Google is like going down that highway and you pull off the road, off the rest area, and you pull right up in front of the coffee shop and you walk in and you buy a cup of coffee. High intent. That's the difference between social media and Google search. So let's take a quick look. This is one of Bob's marketing pieces. This is a cool little proof creator. And you can see what we've done here is we've taken all his content throughout his website. We've turned it into like this magazine style. So his whole website is, like a library. It's like a 40-year library of New York City real estate. But you can see how you can thumb through each one of these pages. And then let's see, let's go over here and let's look at some development site. Okay, so this is his development site book. Okay, and again, these load a little bit slow on here because I've got Zoom open as well. But let's take a look now. Now, if you look down below here, there's a little triangle here, and you can click that triangle, and the magazine will automatically move back and forth. You could advance the pages and sit and watch, or you can manually click these buttons here or these arrows on the right or the left to go back and forth. Now, here are Bob's statistics. Now, this is a few years ago, so these are constantly being updated. But you can see the lifetime stats. You can see a testimonial. You can see market information. Again, Bob is not selling anything. He's just showing you the proof. Market information, success stories. This here, what's interesting about these is that people on the internet do not read, they scan. And what they do is they go from headline to headline, bullet point to bullet point. So the heart of what we do with one-page case studies, whether it's a success story or it's a market report or some kind of information, is we're really focused on breaking everything down into little bullet points. And we have templates that we follow that enables a novice at SEO to become like a master at Google search. So, which is really awesome. But if you look at this, you'll see, you don't really have to read much here. You can stop and read if you want. There's a little bit of information on each one. You've got testimonials on each one. So you have a price, you have a location, you've got a little bit of data, and you got a testimonial. And now I'm going to click this button here, and you can sort of sit back, and what your eyes are going to do is they're going to go right to these prices. They're going to go right to the address. As it's moving through, you're going to look at the price, you're going to look at the address, you're going to look at the image, price, and you're going to look at it all very, very quickly at once. So that's how people travel on the internet. They just headline to headline, bullet point to bullet point. If they find something they like right here, if you want to know, if you see this building, okay, here's a building on West 24th Street, you or whatever, let's go to 8th Avenue. You might just stop right here, or maybe it's West 57th Street. You're interested in that might catch your eye. So you might go through all these different properties, but let's say you own a property up on West 57th Street. This might be the one that really catches your eye. These are called identification factors. So we're using identification factors, which is one of the most powerful marketing mechanisms known to man. This is nothing new. But anyway, let me show you. I'm going to show you a success story book here, and let's sort of thumb through. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like right here. Now these are great when you have the physical copy in your hand, and these are. I mean, everything is good, but in the one-page case study model, what we're doing is, you see, if somebody is doing a search and they land on your page, challenge action results, that's not really going to catch their eye. This is super awesome, but you can do better today. And the reason why I know this is because I've tested zillions of pages to find what works. And that's where this one-page case study model, like this is 30 years in the work. But you can thumb through and you can see this, and you'll notice, a lot of good content here. If this is something, if you're interested in this East 34th Street property, okay, you're going to stop and you're going to start to look through this. But you can make it even better, this content even better today, especially with ChatGPT. You can convert this content into bullet points very easily. Now, you've got a few bullet points down in the bottom, which is great, but bold words. So each one of these would be better off to be instead of challenge action results, it would be better to have something specific about the property. So almost like a little table of contents about what this page is about. So I want to take you over here now. And, I encourage you to go through the site. This is what this site is all about this site is all about, this is built for everybody. And it's an amazing model. And I'm just so thrilled and grateful that I had the opportunity to build out this site. Um, and let me show you a sample market report. So this is really the model right here. Okay. This is the conceptual model, market information. And you can see, if you look right up here, Manhattan property sales, first half 2014. This information you're probably not going to read at first. Now, if you have a physical copy of this and sitting on your lap, maybe it's a little different. But when you're online, what are your eyes going to do? They're going to start here in the upper left-hand corner. They're going to go to the right. And you're going to look at property sales volume and turnover, dollar volume. One of these might, dollar volume to certain people is more like an identification factor. Somebody might stop and look at dollar volume. Then they might look at property sales second. Or they might even just go right over here and bypass these two. So it's like, okay, I see dollar property sales volume. I see dollar volume. Good information. I know that's there. I'll come back to it. My eyes might come right over here. You know what? I own a 1 to 4 family building. Okay, that's where my eyes are going to go. I may not care about this initially. I'm going to look maybe at these bullet points. Maybe I own like a hotel. If I own a hotel, my eyes are going to go right over here. Boom. I don't care about this. I'm scanning, scanning, scanning. Don't care, don't care. Boom. Hotel building. There I go. That's what I want to know about. I got a hotel. I want to sell it, or I want to buy it, buy a hotel. I'm in the market. And what am I going to do? I'm going to look at this information here. This is what's going to catch my eye. After I see this, that might be my first identification factor. But then after that, I might want to know, might want to know about development sites. Maybe I want to know about retail. So, there's a number of things that I may look at out of order. That's why these bullet points are so key. Now, if you scroll over here, you can see the different properties that Bob has sold. And you can see what I'm talking about here with the way it breaks down. Okay, so you see the different property types. Okay. Then you look at 1 to 4 family, you look at elevator apartment buildings. You can see you're jumping from headline to headline to headline to headline to headline. Oh, mixed use. That's what I'm interested in. So that's, the consumer that we're trying to, Bob might attract might go through here and he looks at, he skips through 1 family, skips through all these headlines. Oh, mixed use. Boom, I'm right here. I got a mixed use property. I want to sell it. But you might start scrolling and scanning through here. Well, even though there's tons of data here, boom, Franklin Street. Maybe you own a property down at Franklin Street, so that catches your eye first. After that, oh, you know what? I don't really care about 61st Street or 28th Street. You might go up here and say, you know what? I care about Greenwich. What's going on Greenwich Street? Or what's going on in Chambers? So you might read this out of order. And then all of a sudden, these are your identification factors, right? Franklin's first, maybe Greenwich is second, that kind of thing. Chambers. And then you might start looking at these other ones. Now, let's move on and let's go over to, what's really key. Now, you can see what they've done. What Bob has done is he has broken New York City down into different territories. Now, this happens to be Manhattan, but this could be anywhere in the United States. It could be in a small town like I'm recording this today and speaking to you from Wilton, Connecticut. You could be a residential broker in Wilton, Connecticut, and there's 6,000 homes. You could focus on one section of Wilton and just focus on those 1,000 owners. So you could put 6 brokers in different neighborhoods in Wilton, and you focus on those 1,000 owners. Well, if the turnover rate is 6%, at 60 properties a year, 60 homes a year, if you can get a 20, 25% market share because you're the one that's the dominant player in that market and you're doing all the things that you're seeing here on this website, then you're going to, if you go after exclusive listing, which is really the business model, that's what Bob has done for all these years, then you're going to, and you follow the system, you're going to get a nice market share within that, uh, out of those 60 properties. Now, the model is different if you go after, let's say you go after 2 to 10 unit buildings. Well, in Wilton, there probably aren't that many 2 to 10 unit buildings, but the next town is Norwalk. There might be a whole bunch over there, but maybe not enough for what you're looking for because you're very specific on 2 to 10 unit building. Maybe you have to venture out a little further. Maybe you go up to Westport, which is the next town north, or you go south. You go down into Darien, Connecticut. You go down to Stamford. You go down to Greenwich, and you put together your database of 2 to 10 unit buildings. I can guarantee you that if you put together a database of 1,000 owners and you do exactly what Bob is doing here, this is going to change your life. You're going to have a business forever. It doesn't mean that that's what you're going to end up doing for the rest of your life, but that is, you treat your market sort of like a garden. You define your garden, you till the soil, you fertilize it, you trim your plants as they grow. And that's exactly how this model works. So the key here is what I've just gone through is the whole concept. This is the one-page case study model. Now, what I have done is I've applied it online. I know what works with websites. I know the kinds of websites that work. Many people are using a lot of different websites out there that don't perform, even though they think they might because they're cheap. But there is a model here that you want to follow. It's not very hard. You just got to know what it is. I've done this for 30 years. I did it offline. I applied it online. This system is going to change your life. If you want to know how to do it, I'll teach you. Doesn't matter how big your business is or how small. I've done this for big companies. I've done this for small companies. Works every time. Hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you. Have a great day.